So there was a big reveal at the end of the first season, the
Yeah.
birthmark.
Yep. Yep.
So do you know where they're heading with that big reveal? In the
Yeah,
second
I mean,
season?
well, they're alluding to, Bellamy was returned,
Mm-hmm.
and that opens up a whole lot of doors, because I think what's fun about season 2 is like, the question, did he know? Does he know? If he, what does that mean if he does know?
Mm-hmm.
And if he doesn't know, what does that mean? And do the other return know? Or, so it's a really, for Bellamy, he becomes more active in season 2. I think in season 1 he was more reactive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do you know at the beginning of season 1 that he's gonna be that type of reveal at the end of the season?
Yeah, I had a clue. Yeah, but we had to keep that under wraps. So.
Yeah, because I remember interviewing
Yeah.
last year, and you said, "Well, okay, let's see what happens."
Yeah, yeah.
And so it's interesting because in the forums and on the web, there are a lot of theories about Bellamy's birthmark. They said he couldn't be one of the return because the return died, and they come back with the same age.
Right.
So I don't. Maybe you can't tell us, but are you familiar with any fan theory about that?
Yeah, but I can tell you. I mean, the logic of that is really simple. Is that essentially Bellamy would have been these people lost their baby, right? He was an infant, so that means if he returned, he was an infant and he's grown to this point where we meet him in the show. So that's really where a person can return whenever, but he would have returned as a baby 40 years ago.
Yeah.
And now it's 40 years later, and then his parents are just now returning. So
During the whole season, we see like the return versus the not return.
Right.
Are we gonna see that in the future, like a war between those guys and regular people?
Yeah, well, I don't know. War. I mean, in the second season, this thing has gotten out of hand now, and it can no longer be contained to this small town. So, what's going to happen? To your point, are the factions of people that are going to pop up and want to take action? And is it going to be a military thing? Is the government going to get involved? And so we're exploring all of those things in the second season. It gets a lot bigger, but not necessarily broader. And Bellamy's just in the middle of all of it. So, yeah.
And during the last years, have been a lot of series about not return in terms of that particular story, but Under the Dome, the Leftovers. People with powers, maybe people who are slightly off. So what do you think that is that's so interesting for the audience now? Because you look back a couple of years ago, and there weren't any series about that.
Right. I don't know. That's a good question. I think it's just a topic that people are interested in, and I think part of it is we always think about these things in the back of our head, or we have our own versions of it, and then the other part of it is like, we're connected as a world now. Something could happen on the other side of the world, and we can just go in our pockets and our phones and see it, visually. So I think we're having these conversations much more openly. When you look at something like climate change, and this is something that's like we're all going to be affected by that. So I think those broad themes combined with things that we're seeing happen on a big scale, there's huge earthquakes in Chile or something like that, where we're like, oh, it kind of freaks us out. I think that allows for people to explore these big what ifs through ideas like this.
The cost of returning hasn't been explained yet.
Right.
So do you know it?
Well, I couldn't tell you if I did.
No, I'm not asking that. I'm asking if you know it.
I don't know. I don't know if the writers know it. But that's a question we're going to have to answer one day, and hopefully it's a few years from now, and it's the last show, and here's the answer. And then we'll make the movie. No, I'm just joking.
Why not? Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good to see you.